host of LA Talk Live, would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC, aka Farron, Dozier. Got my sidekick here, SCTD's in the building.
Yep.
On a school night.
Yep.
Hanging with me. Again, thank you for tuning and listening in. This is WDC Radio, our sickle cell trait awareness program. Talks about sickle cell trait, sickle cell disease, all the different aspects of it, from malaria all the way to mental health issues with sickle cell. So we just, again, thank you for tuning in. You can stream us live right now on New York Talk Live, DC Talk Live, and how about Orlando Talk Live? You can go there right now. We're streaming live, syndicated right now. Also iTunes under R&B, LA Talk Live, and also on Ustream under LA Talk Live. We'll have a great show for you tonight. I got Devin Jackson calling in. He's going to share his story living with sickle cell, and we'll get into that shortly. This is a theme song. What's the count? Curtis Blow, Young Ice, IG the Great, iTunes. Check it out. Be right back.
So tell me what's the count? Had Jerry run a route and Montana throw it out. At water make him sober when the back try to bounce. So I'm flipping through the channels as the bulls where I'm out. Trying to go for 40 enemies, closed mouth. So I'm ESPN and bury like a mouse. Scanning through the rivals, play off idle. He'll make all enemies suicidal. Similar to Marshall Falk with quick bouncer. Scatting on the fast, all you hear is the announcer. Then competition, so the crowd scream louder. Then he realized Roger Craig is his founder. So he sits on the defender around her. As Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hooks a mountain. Magic with a pass, so the Lakers straight clowning. All I wanna know is homeboy, what's the count? And
all right, so once again, WDC Radio. I'm your host. I'm WDC. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IamWDC. SCTD is on Twitter at WDC on SCT. And our website for sickle cell trait awareness and prevention is WDConsct.org. That's my organization created to bring awareness, be educated about sickle cell trait. All in the camera. All right, so we got a very, very, very important show for you today. Again, we got an interview of living with sickle cell disease. If you tune in from the previous month, we've covered a lot of different topics, from the Sickle supplement that I'm taking right now to help improve my sickle cell trait, get my energy back so I can get back into the gym, all the way to losing a young child at 2 years old, Morgan, to sickle cell disease. Also to having Dr. Bailey here talk about genetic counseling and genetic issues with William Millett out from New York. Also, Dr. Gaines was here to talk about the aspects of sickle cell around mental health and neuropsychology, how important that is for us to be able to have our children properly diagnosed, possibly from the different mental health aspects of sickle cell disease and trait. And now, today, we're here, April. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So this month is dedicated. Most of the shows you'll see will be different people in the community living with sickle cell disease. I got a couple more guests coming up in the future of the future shows, sharing their story. So we'll get into that. Let's see, the campaign that I've been working on with Alan and I, one of the campaigns, I have a few campaigns, but there's one campaign that was created by myself and Alan talking about Stop Sickle Sex. And, it's plain and simple. Nothing hidden behind it. No hidden meaning about it. It's specifically Stop Sickle Sex, bringing awareness to sickle cell trait testing so families can be aware of the genes that they carry, and also, to maybe possibly prevent a child from being born with sickle cell disease, because now parents are now aware and now they are more prepared. And so if they still choose to have a child with sickle cell disease, now they can get the resources and information, and that's between them and God, and we're not trying to stop any of that. And at the same time, I understand that it is very, confrontational as a phrase, stop sickle sex, because people interpret it how you interpret it. So the meaning of it is stop is awareness, sickle is education, and sex is prevention, because that's how the gene is inherited when two parents come together and have sex, mate, however you want to language it. When you come together and that child can possibly have sickle cell disease. So that's pretty much the gist of it. There ain't no other hidden meaning behind the slash of the stop sickle sex, stop sign slash. However you interpret it, you interpret it. But coming from us, that's what that means. And so there's some feedback on the way here to the station. So SCTD would like to chime in and share her points of view on the Stop Sickle Sex campaign.
Yes, this guy said. He said on the poster, it says to all of us, we should hate being born and that we're a mistake. We are not a mistake. We are happy to be born. I have it and I'm going through it and I'm perfectly fine. And then he says that he has friends who died. Okay, I know people. I know my dad's mentor. I've met her and she died. Okay, we all go through that. And then he wants to say that he battles through it. Okay, everyone does. Glad you still see the sunshine. Good for you. And then he says, do not mock us ever again, or make a poster to shock people just to tune in to see your show. No, my dad is making this show so he can let people know what's up, because no one knows what it is. He's not trying to be famous. He wants everyone to know about sickle cell, because we both have it and we're both living through it. And it's very, very bad. So I get it. It offends you, whatever, but it doesn't mean we all hate ourselves. We are happy to be here. I know I am. And so you're what? A genetic research scientist with a PhD from Duke University. Who cares? Honestly, I don't care. What matters is the word that gets out, because some of us have it and not all of us know about it. And some of us know some of us have it who don't even know about it. That's what matters.
Exactly.
Not about us hating ourselves. That does not say anywhere in green, blue, or red, or even in the little poster that has the diagram in it that says stop sickle sex. Where in the world do you see that?
It actually has the genetic posters of being tested and the results of sickle cell trait and other red blood cell conditions. So, like I said, people will have their interpretation. It's not for everybody. We understand that there's 7 billion people on the planet, and some of you guys will agree with sickle cell trait prevention, and others you won't. All that I need you to know is that this show is for sickle cell trait prevention and awareness, and it's bringing education to the public.
Ooh, yeah.
All right? Are you good?
No, we have a caller.
That might be our guest. Let's see. You're live. What's the count?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, what's going on? This is Devin.
Hey, Devin, how you doing, man?
Wonderful.
Hey, give us like 2 more seconds. Actually, you can give me your opinion. Have you seen the Stop Sickle Sex poster that I posted, the flyer?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Okay, then you can't chime in on that. All right, I'm gonna let SCTD finish up this conversation, and then we're gonna bring you on to your interview. So don't go nowhere, okay?
And then he says that you want to prevent people from having children with sickle cell because you are miserable. What do you mean by that? Honestly. And he says myself and my friends are not at all. We're not saying you're miserable. You don't have to be miserable. I understand it hurts and it's painful, but it doesn't mean you're miserable. You could still do work around it. Yeah, you go to some people with the disease, you go to the hospital and you have to stay in a hospital bed. But there's some people who work around it.
I don't think he knows us, though.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think he even knows us. So I
Well,
think he
that's a
just
good
looked at
thing.
the campaign and just
That's a good thing he
made
doesn't
it
know.
mean whatever.
He should be glad he doesn't know me. And I did not say this to his face, because I actually would. But that got me really mad, saying that we're a mistake. How are we a mistake?
Not a mistake. All we're doing is bringing education to sickle cell trait,
Yes.
sickle cell disease.
And maybe that's why God gave us this, so that we could let people know. Maybe that's our reason why we're here, okay? Not just to hate ourselves. That is so dumb for you to say. I'm glad I don't know you. Because if I knew you and we were friends with you, it'd be deuces.
Oh.
Goodbye.
All right, SCTD. Thank you. Gotta let her say her piece.
Thank you.
She's a part of this campaign. She lives with the trait. She has pains, and so there it is. We've said our piece. Again, you want to talk to us? My phone number's there. My email's there. We could talk offline. This is actually about sickle cell trait, sickle cell awareness, and today's topic is living with sickle cell. So I got my man Devin Jackson. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. But,
How are you?
I know I emailed you, so I just emailed you a couple of minutes ago, but I am not by myself no more.
Oh, who you with?
My mother.
Oh, she's there?
Yeah.
All right. Let me speak to her real quick.
All right, hold on.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Thank you for taking a few minutes to come on the show with us. Very important issue, living with sickle cell. And so, again, thank you for I know you're tired. You know, it's 3 hours ahead back there.
It's no problem.
So, again, thank you for accepting our invitation. Myself and my daughter's here. We host this show, WDC Radio. And so I invited your son to come on to share his story living with sickle cell. But I wanted to start the show off. I start off every show with sickle cell trait awareness. So if you're open to share, did you know that you had sickle cell trait before you had your son?
Yes, because my oldest son, his brother has the trait.
Okay. And so
basically, when we got his brother tested, they told me that he had the trait. I didn't know that their dad had the trait because I know it runs in my family.
Okay. So your first son was born with sickle cell trait.
Yeah.
And then you decided to have another child, which was Devin, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then so when you found out that Devin was going to be born with sickle cell disease, I mean, how did you respond to that?
Well, basically, they had to do a background check because his dad was in the Navy, and I didn't know that he had the trait until I contacted him. And when he told me that he had the trait, I was pregnant with Devin, and I had to let the doctors know that both parents had the trait, and we already had one sibling that had the trait also, so he had to automatically get tested.
Right.
They basically tested me while he was still inside,
Okay.
and, stuck a needle in my stomach. That came back positive, but they had to wait for him to be born to retest him.
Okay.
And that's when they found out he had sickle cell disease.
And how was that for you when you actually found out that he was going to be living with this disease?
Terrified because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, they told me that there was like a 3/4 of a chance that your second child will come out with the actual disease, and
Right.
it's like a lot of people throw a lot of things at you, but the only thing that I focused on is I'm going to have a child that's going to basically have special needs and special care. And then I thought about it. I'm not going to treat him no different than I treat his brother. I'm not going to have him be a handicap.
Exactly. And thank you for that, because a lot, unfortunately, it happens, that children are treated as handicaps, and that's
yes, they are, and that's
case.
sad.
Yeah, not the case. So,
yep.
How did you get your resources when now that you Devin's going to be born with the disease, and like, where did you go for support?
Well, basically, luckily, I thank my mom because my mom was an RN.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
she had kind of close friends at the hospital that could educate me on it, sit me down, because I was still young when I was 23 years older than Devin.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was still learning.
Yeah.
As I was growing, I'm still learning.
Okay.
But the actual, know that your child is going to go through pain, knowing it and seeing it is two different things.
Exactly.
And it freaked me out. It kind of scared me, but I had to be there for him. Not had to, but that's my son. I'm not going to, when he hurts, I hurt.
Exactly.
And, I can't stop him from going through pain, but I can basically try my best to ease it and be there and comfort him.
Right. Is there anything that you want to share with the mothers that are living with children with sickle cell disease as a support statement, or your experience?
Basically, all I can say is, we have enough things to deal with in this world as adults, but children have it worse because they're picked on, they're labeled.
Yeah.
People are going to talk about you regardless, but
exactly.
just make sure that you're there to help your child. You're the first face that child sees in the morning. You're the last face that child sees at night. Regardless of if the child is picked on, you make sure you have your child's back no matter what.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. No one ever said it was going to be easy. But as long as that child feels that love, they can get through anything.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
And
you are so very welcome.
And my last question is, what do you want to say as far as the importance of people knowing what genes they carry ahead of time before they have that child? How important is testing to you, and your point of view on that?
My thing is, most people don't even know anything about sickle cell. The only time, and it's sad because I'm not saying one, disease or one certain thing is more important than others.
Right.
But it's with sickle cell, you don't hear that much about it, and it's out there.
Right.
People just don't know that they have it, and I honestly feel just go get tested, because my oldest son made me a grandmother. My granddaughter just got checked. She has the trait.
Oh, wow.
So like I explained to her mother, just because she has the trait, basically, she has her moments too, and they never knew what was going on or why it was. And Devin actually educated her on, my granddaughter Trinity having the trait, and she went and got tested and found out she has sickle cell trait.
Wow.
So I tell anybody, don't wait until you have to go do it. It doesn't hurt to get tested. It does not hurt.
Yeah.
At least then you know what you're dealing with. Don't be left in the dark.
Exactly. And that's truly what, we're here to bring awareness to. A lot of couples, a lot of people, you may ask that mate, do you have sickle cell trait? But then we don't ask them about thalassemia trait or hemoglobin C trait. So there's other conditions that, that we want people to understand, that when you're talking to your mate and you want to have these, children, these are questions that you don't want to get past the superficial conversation and get to, hey, look, have you heard about sickle cell trait? Have you heard about thalassemia? Do you know if your family has it in their back? Those kind of conversations, and those aren't your normal conversations either.
Yes, you have to. Whether you're married or dating and you're planning on having kids, you have to do a background check in your family.
Very important. It's not African Americans. It's the bloodline. So it just depends on where your family is in, that bloodline came from. And if it's fortunate to be from a place where malaria was prevalent, that's how those people survived. Malaria was by the sickle cell trait. So
better do it now than later.
That's my daughter.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi.
She also has a sickle cell trait too. So
I'm doing good. I'm here on a school night. Yeah.
oh, she likes that.
Yeah. She likes that.
Oh my goodness! I wish they had more people to come out and do what you guys are doing. When I say you're helping my son, that's an understatement, because some of these kids, they're so terrified because they don't have anyone that can relate to what they're going through.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we moved, Devin was born in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm from upstate, Rochester, New York.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Basically, I was a teen mom, so it's like my mom was there, but she wanted me, raise your son. I was like, okay, no problem. I have one, and here's my Devin. But my thing is, they don't have enough people to act. Either they're scared or trying to find out or don't want to know, and that doesn't help anybody.
No, not at all.
at all. But I'm just glad because now, since Devin has been telling me about you guys, he's been in contact with more people that have sickle cell, whether it's sickle cell or the trait, and I see a big change in him because he feels more comfortable.
Yeah. Well, actually, Devin and I will be roommates next week in D.C. I wanted him to be there so bad that I was open to share my room with him. So when he comes to Capitol Hill next week, he and I will meet in person, and we will be roommates taking on the hill next week. So,
okay.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Oh, okay.
Anything else you want to say to the listeners, ma'am, before we get into Devin's story?
Well, I just want everybody to be aware that, you know, we have a lot of things out there. Leukemia, cancer, but sickle cell is very dangerous. People pass away. It's hard, but just don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. I mean, my son was told, you know, when he was born, he wasn't going to make it to his 5th birthday. My son is 22 years old now.
Yeah.
And I tell anybody, doctors, you know, they got this PhD, MD, they go to school for 8, 12 something years. My doctor is the man up above. I did everything I was supposed to do, and my son is 22 years old.
Thank God. You made a statement. You made a statement how the doctors, I mean, unfortunately, that's been an inherited conversation with doctors and families around the conversation of sickle cell disease. When they make those statements that you're lucky if they live to be 5, you're lucky if they live to be 10, and then when those little kids, they don't understand that at 5 years old, that little person can hear and understand and can relate, and now they start living like this could be my last birthday. I mean, who wants to live with that in the back of their mind? Like, I could die. I mean, all because of a doctor said that you'd be lucky. 2 years, really?
And that was the last time that my son saw that doctor. I transferred him to another hospital. And my son is proudly walking around at the age of 22.
At 22. Yes. Again, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for calling in and sharing. I
appreciate
you.
You're so very, very welcome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's another thing. If you have the sickle cell disease, and I know that you guys go through hospital beds and stuff, but when you go through that and you're out of that hospital bed, you do what you got to do and fight through it and live through it. That's all you got to do. That's what I say.
All right, D. Thank you. Devin, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
How are you today, man?
I'm making it. Got some pain. I've been going through my back pain, my normal knee and back pain, but I can't complain.
Okay. Hey, again, thank you for accepting the invitation to come on the show and being open with us on WDC Radio, sharing about living with sickle cell. So before we're going to take a break in about 7 minutes, who is Devin Jackson? Let's start there.
Devin Jackson is this, I want to say, you might as well say a city boy. As like growing up, I used to you wouldn't even know, you couldn't out of a group of people you cannot pick out Devin Jackson. Devin Jackson stayed to himself. Devin Jackson went to school, came home. Went to school, came home. Went to school, came home.
That was it.
So as a child, you didn't know who Devin Jackson was, but as I got older, you can see Devin Jackson through a whole field of people. Like me, I want to say it started like my 10th grade year in high school. Like I started dressing better, taking care better of myself, more worried about my looks, taking 3 hours in the mirror, acting like I'm a female or something. And then it just took off from there. My confidence went sky high, and I got more to my music. I got more to my dancing. And it just definitely turned into that, I wouldn't say wild, but that outstanding person. Like, you can just tell, oh, yeah.
Okay.
You already know who it is.
Okay. Don't go too far in the future now. Hold on. We want to go back in time a little bit. You know, I want to go back to when you were growing up as a little kid and you start to understand that you were going to be living with sickle cell disease at a young age. You know, how do you remember your mom sharing that with you as far as, hey, Devin, this is who you are? Like, what do you remember back then?
I remember, I want to say I probably was like 7 or 8. I remember, like, my mom, I used to always ask my mom, why am I in so much pain? Like, what is, like, it's like there's something wrong with me. It's like, what's going on? And she sat me down and she was like, no, I'm just going to have to finally tell you. She was like, you have an illness called sickle cell anemia FS.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here with the dumbfounded look like, what is that? Like, all I know is just I'm always in pain and I'm always in the hospital and I got doctor's appointments back to back to back.
Right.
And she's like, it's the illness to where your blood doesn't carry that much oxygen to itself, so it hemolyzes into a crescent-shaped form and it gets stuck when it flows through your veins. So I'm like, okay, I'm still looking at like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's the truth. Because I know my mom's not going to lie to me, but I'm sitting there like, okie dokie, but okay. So I know then eventually when she told me that I went to school the next day, went to the library and looked it up, and everything she told me was true, and it was like, oh, well, the red blood cells don't carry that much oxygen, so your blood hemolyzes and it forms a crescent-shaped cell, and it gets stuck in your veins, and it causes much pain. So I'm like, okay, at least I know where my pain is coming from.
Right.
So I want to say, since the age of 7 is when I started my education on sickle cell.
All right. So at the age of 7, you were educated about it, but what was going on in those kindergarten years, those first grade years, as far as your environment, as your school friends? Did they notice?
Right.
Did they notice something different about you?
But yeah, they like my kindergarten years, I would say yeah, because I have sickle cell and asthma. So like, recess time, that's the best thing to a kid.
Yep.
That's the best thing to a kid. You hear recess, kids go crazy.
Right.
So I know, like, my friends will notice, like, we'll be playing, like, or hide and seek or tag or something, and then I'll start getting, like, really winded or tired. And then, like, they'll be like, are you okay? Do you want me to go get the teacher? To me, as a kid, I'm like, no, I'm fine. Let's finish playing. But then eventually my body is like, all right, you need to calm down or go get some water and just calm down. So it's like, as a kid in kindergarten, I'm like, I just want to play. I just want to have fun. I don't, like, I'm tired. I'm in pain, but I don't care. Like, I don't know what's going on. I just want to play with my friends.
Right.
But my teachers knew because my mom, of course, told them.
Right, of course.
When I got enrolled, so like my teachers like, Devin, calm down, like catch your breath or whatever. And of course, as a kid, I used to be hard headed. I was like, okay, and then I'll walk away. Then I'll go back to what I'm doing.
Right.
But then they'll turn around. All right, Devin, well, since you want to be hard headed, you need to come with me so you can sit down.
Now you got to sit on a bench.
Yeah, you've been benched. So you're out for the game. Like, you're done.
So how did that affect you as a kid? Wanting to play.
It hurt, but it didn't because it was for the right reason. It's for my well-being.
Yeah.
It hurt to the degree because I'm sitting on the sideline watching my friends while I play during recess, and I'm over here sitting like, okay, I got to sit down because of a certain reason that I don't even know of.
Right.
So I'm sitting over here like, man, they over there having fun. I'm over there sitting down, trying to, like, over here catching my breath. But, like, even though I caught my breath, I still got to sit here. Recess is over now. Now I got to go back to the schoolhouse and just finish school to go home. But I'm like, so it was 50-50 with me. It was for the right reasons because it's my health.
Right.
But as a kid, it's like, man, I don't want to sit down. I want to go play.
Did you ever remember around that age, saying something like, I don't fit in or anything like that? Is there something? What were you saying to yourself?
Like to me, yeah. Like I felt like I was like, like I don't fit in because like all the time I got to sit out and sit down on the sideline. So it's like, to myself, I'm like, I'm not like the regular kids. Like this is not. I'm not. I used to always tell myself I'm not normal.
Yeah.
Like there's something different with Devin Jackson. Like I'm not fitting in. I'm not normal. And then when I do go back outside to play, they're like, well, we know you can't play this game because you're gonna have to sit out.
Right.
So we don't want to pick you on our team.
See what I'm saying?
So, like yeah, man, we don't want to pick you on our team because you're gonna have to eventually sit out. So I'm like, man, not everybody treating me different because a certain reason, I'm like, man, like, I'm not normal. People are treating me different. Like, this is not fair. I'm not fitting in with nobody. Like, what's going on?
So we're going to take a quick break because I want to get into as Devin Jackson gets older in elementary, junior high school, what that was like as an experience. So we'll be right back. This is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I'm WDC, SCTD. Shout them out. What's the count?
Jesus. We'll be back.
Devin Jackson, we'll be right back.
All right.
This is SCTD. You are now listening to WDC Radio. Stay tuned for more information on LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
It started out like a totally normal day.
I love you.
I mean, I guess I was a little sweaty and I was definitely sore. I thought I had gas. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of myself and tell the other women in my life to do the same. Make it your mission to save your life and the lives of the women you love. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
Hi, this is Michael Carson, inviting you to join me every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific for See It Clearly. Join me as we discuss the topics of health, relationships, and the latest in life-improving information. So don't forget to tune in to See It Clearly Tuesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starla Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for a new show right here on LA Talk Live, The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
All right, welcome back. This is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I'm WDC, LA Talk Live, more than just talk. Again, I got my man Devin Jackson here on the line with us, sharing his story, growing up, living with sickle cell. SCT is in the building. SCTD, my bad, is in the building with us. Devin, you there?
Of course.
All right, so we were just talking about you growing up, elementary school, noticing, playing in recess and noticing that something's going on with Devin not quite fitting in with the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Let's transition up a little bit more
let's go to
junior. We gotta go to junior high first.
Oh, yeah,
We're gonna go up into junior high. So how did living with sickle cell show up with you in junior high school?
Junior high, it got a little bit worse.
Ooh.
I wouldn't say that much, but it got a little bit worse to where more admissions in the hospital came.
Okay.
I was 6th grade. You might as well say Devin was a nerd.
Okay.
I was all about school, and then I remember one good time I had a real bad crisis, and I was in the hospital for I want to say a week and a half. So, and since I was a nerd, I'm in the hospital freaking out man, I'm missing so much work. Oh my God, my grades are falling. That's all I cared about. But I gotta remember, stress will also turn into a crisis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I end up staying a week and a half, because I'm stressing. I'm already in pain, but I'm stressing myself out about school.
All right, hold on. Before you go any further, what are some of your triggers? Stress. What else? Give me some of your triggers.
I say, like, for me, it would be stress. Like, if I go from a real quick temperature change, that's automatic crisis. Like, if I'm hot, and then all of a sudden I go into a cold environment, that's a crisis. Or if I'm really cold, and then I go to a hot environment, that's an automatic crisis for me.
Right. Okay.
And then I would say probably, like, with me, headache-wise, if somebody comes, you know how some people, like, flash lights to get somebody's attention or whatever.
Yeah.
Me, that's an automatic headache, and that can turn into a crisis for me.
What? That bright light?
Yeah, and, like, bright lights, like, real bright lights, when somebody has, like, their high beams on, like, if it's like they're behind me and it shines in my rearview mirror real quick, and I look directly into it, like, I'll get a minor headache or a major headache right then and there.
Wow.
So driving's kind of like a struggle?
I wouldn't say it was a struggle. Like, 'cause me, like, I can drive at night perfectly. I can drive in the day perfectly. Mm-hmm. But at night, it would be worse for me because, you know, people have to use their light.
Mm.
But you have those, them airheads that know when you are going in the opposite direction, you aren't supposed to have your high beams on.
Right.
So, like, I'm driving down the street, and this airhead got his high beams on, so, you know, you give them the warning flash, hey, you got the high beams on so they can take it off. Some people want to be ignorant and still keep them on.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So,
okay.
Like, I'll be driving, and I'll give, like, the warning flash for my light, and they'll still keep them on, and, like, I'm like, man, no, you don't know what you're doing to me. Like, that's a headache that I have to catch. Like, you don't know what you're doing to the other person by just keeping your high beams on.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for sharing your triggers. So let's go back. Junior high school, you said it's getting a little more difficult. You know, you got more pain crisis now. You're in. Right. You're a nerd going to junior high school.
Like, at 7th grade, I had my gallbladder removed.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So, and why I still remember this to this day, because I missed my spring break.
Ah.
So, like, I got surgery, like, the first day of spring break. And then I went home, I want to say 2 days later. So I missed my whole spring break, and then I had to take an extra week off. So that's like, I'm like, man, I might as well say I failed. But luckily, my mom went up to the school and got my work. So, but I'm like, man, I'm in pain. I don't want to do no schoolwork. I don't want to do no homework. But I got to remember, if I don't do it, you don't pass.
Right, exactly.
So then, I want to say 8th grade, it was like a roller coaster. It was up, it was down, it was up, it was down, it was up, it was down.
Give us some of the ups and downs. What is that? What do you mean by ups and downs?
Like,
explain some of those.
8th grade, like, and another trigger of mine, like, from, I want to say, seasonal changes.
Oh, yeah.
When it goes from, like, winter, like, fall to winter, or summer to fall to winter, like, real bad seasonal changes that can trigger my crisis as well. So, like, for those, I was born on August 23rd, so I'm a summer kid. So I'm used to being in the summer, but it's like, man, I'm going from summer to fall, so it's like, that's when school starts. So I got admitted the first couple of weeks of school.
Right.
So I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm already in the hospital. School just started. Then I go back to school. I'm like, I'm feeling better, whatever. Then I want to say, like, winter comes. And that's the worst for me.
Right.
Winter is the worst season for me ever.
Yep.
So I say that 8th grade year, I got admitted at least 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And one time I had to get a blood transfusion.
Mm.
And so
was that your first transfusion, or was that
No, this is one I know. I just remember.
You remember that one?
Yeah, I think according to my mom, I had plenty of blood.
Okay, but this one stands out
because it's school.
Wow.
So 8th grade, it was like up and down. Like I passed with flying colors, but it's just like my health, I wanted to do sports in school, but I couldn't because of my sickle cell, because of my asthma. So I'm like, I see all my friends going off with sports, and I'm over here sitting like, man, I can't do it because my sickle cell won't let me, or my asthma won't let me. And it's like, man.
Now, how was your social life now? Because junior high is a very important, age where you're coming into his friends and all that. So what was your social life like?
I would say it was. I wouldn't say it was good, but I would say it was decent. Like my friends, all my friends didn't know I had sickle cell. Like my real close ones.
Okay.
My real close ones knew I had sickle cell. All of them didn't know. One thing I hated during middle school is because my jaundice with the yellowing of my eyes.
Okay.
I always got picked on for that.
Okay.
Oh, he got yellow eyes. Something wrong with him. Y'all stay away from him. Stay away from that. He got yellow eyes. Y'all might catch something he got. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, you sound ignorant right now because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You sound really ignorant because, and occasionally I wouldn't say I got into a fight for it, but I almost did. Like, I almost got into plenty of fights because I'm going to defend myself.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to say anything about me, and I'm just going to sit there and take it. So I'm going to defend myself. I'm in school. Of course, I'm not doing, oh, yeah, all jokes on Devin. No. So he's sitting there, oh, stay away from him. He got yellow eyes. He contagious. So I'm like, yo, dude, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Watch your mouth. You don't know me like that. So, of course, he thinks he's a big and bad. Oh, you don't want to say that to my face. And I'm like, really, dude? First of all, I'm going to talk to you education-wise, see where your education level is at. You don't want to go there with me. I'm like, first of all, if you can spell contagious, I'll let you say whatever you want. If you can spell illness or jaundice, I will let you say what you want. Until then, your level of education is not where I'm at.
So was that your comeback?
Oh, that was my comeback for anything. Like if you're gonna go physical, I'm gonna go educational.
Nice.
Hey,
if you automatically gotta jump to a physical standpoint, that means you're not brain smart wise.
My dad always says, don't use words you can't spell.
Exactly. Like if your first reaction is you want to fight, then I know educational wise you're not at my level. Because the first thing you want to do is fight.
So now deep down inside, now be honest with me, even though you was, coming back with this educational conversation, how did that really make you feel though? When you went home?
It hurt.
When you went home?
It hurt.
Yeah.
Like it really hit me to it really hit the core of my soul. Like you really don't know what you're talking about, but you're still running off at the mouth. It hurt deep down inside.
Yeah.
Like you're making accusations that you don't even know, but only why it really hurt because the ignorant, even though people are ignorant and don't know what they're saying, but it's still people that are laughing about it.
Right.
So it's really hurting on the inside. Like y'all really do think this is funny, but it hurt because it's about me. Even if it's not, even though it's about me, even if it was towards somebody else,
right,
it's still not funny.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So deep down it hurt. Of course I had smart comebacks and I had comebacks, but deep down it hurt overall.
So
I might not show that it hurt, but it hurt deep down inside.
Now I know you mentioned earlier in the segment that you started. We started out, sharing about you got into music. So was that when you went, when that pain hurt you inside? Is that what your release was?
That's my outlet.
So how did the music come about?
Well, as when you spoke to my mother, she told you I have an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me that was my mentor.
Okay.
He used to do chorus. And my brother I don't know about till this day, but back then, can hold a tune to save his life. He can hold a tune to whatever, but he's I think 4 or 5 years older than me. So when I was in late, just beginning middle school or middle school, he was in high school. So I see him singing and girls coming to him. So I'm like, okay, I like what I see. But to me, I used it as a pain relief and an outlet. So I was like, okay, maybe if I started working on my music and my singing, and just happened to be, I started carrying it to myself, started joining chorus, and I just, since 6th grade on out, I just went with it. I did it as a hobby, but I also did it as a release, a pain release, and I did it as an outlet.
Definitely.
Like, how did you think your mom felt? Like, when she had to take you to the hospital and all that, like, what did you think, how she felt?
Like, when I would have a crisis, even though, as a mother, of course, their first mother instinct, I got to be strong for my son. That's the first mother instinct, is be strong for your son. But I know deep down, like, while I'm laying in my hospital bed, the first thing I'm going to automatically do is look at my mother. So I see her sitting there being strong, but I know my mother. Deep down, on the inside, she's crying, but I can't see it physically. But I know the way my mother acts. Like, she's just stressing herself out. Is my baby okay? Is my baby going to be okay? What's going on with him? Is he okay? So I know physically she's showing strength, but internally it's hurting her on the inside that her son is in pain. And technically she can't do anything about it. So she has to go and get help, which means taking me to the hospital. So I know, of course, she's there. Oh, I'm here for you, son. I'm going to be strong. But deep down, I know every crisis, I'm feeling the pain, but she's feeling the emotional pain.
Hey, Devin, how about your big brother? How did your big brother, take care of you and see you when you were in crisis? Did he handle it pretty well?
Like my big brother, he was the one that kept me laughing. Like, he would be the one to, like, not want to show emotions, so he'll be the one that try to keep me laughing when I'm in pain. Like, he'll come up to the hospital, oh, I see they got so many needles in you now, and I just bust out laughing because I know it's a big brother thing. I know he doesn't really mean it. So so you all drugged up now, huh? So are you legally moving drugs in this hospital? So I'm just sitting here laughing because that's a big brother thing. Or he'll make the, so you back in the hospital joke. To him, to other people, it's like, wow, dude, you really just said that to your brother? But to me, I know he's just playing.
Right.
Like, I know to nurses, he's like, wow, he really just said that to his brother? He's really in the, he's back in the hospital. To me, I know he's just playing.
Wow.
Like, and I want to say, like, when they would try to get, like, sticking me with needles, he's like, man, oh, you a punk, you crying, you getting stuck with needles ain't nothing. So it's like, to me, I know my brother's just playing, but he's keeping me, he's trying to take my focus off the pain by making me laugh.
Okay.
How about you said you told your real friends, like, how did they react?
Like, they would react by the text messages, hey, bro, or hey, Dad, are you okay? Like, man, we worried about you. Like, we're going to send your work with your mom so she can bring it up. Hey, man, get better. Or if they can, they'll have their parents bring them up to the hospital to see me.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So, like, friend-wise, like, my phone would blow up. Like, in the hospital, I cannot count a day that my phone did not go off. Like, if my phone did not go off by ringing or text messages, I would be surprised.
Wow. Now, why didn't you tell those other friends?
Because you can, to me, you can tell which friends are your real friends. You can tell which friends, like, in school, they might hang out with you. Of course, you're in school for 8 hours. But you can tell which ones your real friends by the ones that really come over your house, hang out with you. But you also have the friends that's just only there when you're in school. So those friends that I hung out with after school or spent the night with at their crib, staying up all night playing video games, or even when I'm in a hospital, those ones that blew up my phone, I know the ones that are my real friends. Because, you know, if I'm in school one day and then I'm out of school for 4 days straight, you should automatically know there's something wrong.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't get that text message or call from you, then I know you're not my real friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go to the high school years, man. You singing now? You know, you got your music. You coming out of your shell. What's up in the high school days?
High school, man, it was crazy. Like, it got better. I got more into the singing. That's when I started dressing better, and that's when the ladies came. So
The ladies.
that's when the more of the girlfriend phase came.
Okay. So you got
that's
your confidence. Just your confidence started to show up. Your courage started to show up.
That's when the confidence. That's when everything just basically came into play. But of course, one thing that's still there is my sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the more variety of friends. I got the girlfriends. I got the female friends of course, the female friends, but I still have my main girlfriend. So it's like when I'm in a hospital, it's not just my guy friends hitting me up. It's I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. Hey, sweetie, how are you doing? What is the doctor saying? Are you okay? I miss you. When are you coming home? More of that situation.
Well, totally different than with mama, huh?
Yeah, I got my mom beside me, but my mom like, boy, get off the phone. Like, put that phone down, all that.
Yeah.
So, of course, I got my mom beside me, but then again, I got my girlfriend occasionally coming up there to see me as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How did she feel about it?
Some could deal with the sickle cell, some couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, some females, you could tell which females could deal with the sickle cell, and you could tell which can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ones that would be there like, oh, did you get medicine? Or the ones that like, oh, how are you feeling today? Are you in pain? Those are the ones that you know that can deal with it. The ones that's just worried about
sing me a song, Devin. Can you sing me a song? Is that what the ones that was interested in your music?
Yeah, the ones that I know we can get your mind off the pain. Go ahead and sing me a little something. All right, go ahead and try to be my little Chris Brown or my little Trey Songz or something like that. Or just my last name is Jackson, the famous. Go ahead and be my little Michael Jackson and stuff
Lord.
like that.
Okay. So you figured him out.
Yeah.
What?
All right. So give me one of your most memorable hospital experiences, man. Give me one of those.
I want to say my most hospital experience is I'm gonna give you 3 different ones. My first one is when I had a girlfriend when she was driving and I wasn't. So I had a crisis at like 2 or 3 in the morning. My mom's out of town. It's just me at home. So I'm in a crisis. I'm like, man, what do I do? I'm not going to, my first thing is I'm not going to call an ambulance. So I called my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Told her, babe, I'm in a crisis. Like, I can't deal with this pain. My pain medicine is not helping. And the first thing I heard is I'm on my way.
Okay.
So she comes gets me. I get there. They check my levels. My blood, I think my blood count was like a 5.
Whoa.
So I knew I was getting admitted. So my girlfriend had to be to school the next. Like, I didn't get a hospital room till like 5 in the morning.
Wow.
And she had to be up to school at 6.
Wow.
And she stayed until I got my hospital room.
Wow.
So she stayed. I finally got my hospital room. She left. She went to school. She came back. I was asleep because I had to I got a transfusion.
Okay.
Because my count was like 5 something. So I just remember this one specific because I wake up. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I see 2 IVs now. But, okay, I remember I got an IV. And then as soon as I walk in, my girlfriend's coming in. And then I'm relaxing. I feel that pain, so I press my PCA button to get a dose of medicine.
Okay.
Only why that one is memorable is because my girlfriend came to my rescue.
Wow.
Like, I was at home, literally, even though I was up 8, I want to say, matter of fact, this happened, I want to say 2012.
Okay.
So only why this one is memorable is because my girlfriend came to my rescue.
Okay.
Now, another time is when I first got on Dilaudid as my pain medicine.
Okay.
I was on a PCA, and they had me on a continuous dose. I mean, anytime you press the button, you get a dose of medicine. So I'm like, so the nurse explained to me, Devin, you're on Dilaudid. You're on a continuous dose. So I'm like, Dilaudid? I don't know what that is. But they're like, it's really good pain medicine. So I press the button, I get a dose. I press the button, I get a dose. Me being childish, of course, I press the button like 5 times. And you know, and of course, you guys know, Dilaudid is a narcotic.
Yep.
So I press the button back to back. Next thing I know, I'm in my hospital room. You might as well say high as a kite. So my nurse comes in to check up on me. I'm looking spaced out, dazed as can be. So, like, I hear her talking to me, and I know in my mind I'm responding, but to her, I'm not saying a word.
Wow.
So technically, you know, to a nurse, that's being unresponsive. So I hear her saying, Mr. Jackson, how do you feel? In my mind, I'm saying, oh, I'm fine, I feel fine. But to her, I'm not saying a word.
Wow.
So apparently, I think she was a new nurse, so she freaked out.
What?
She runs out the room. He's not responding. I'm responsible. Like, all I hear is alarms going off. I see like 3 nurses running in my room, 2 doctors running in my room. Oh, what is he on? He's on the check his chart. What is he on? He's on Dilaudid, blah, blah. And they took me off that Dilaudid PCA so quickly. Man, like, once that Dilaudid wore off, like, I was like, what happened? The nurse told me, Mr. Jackson, you are unresponsive. We checked your rate. You pressed your button 7 times.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, wow. So they took me off the PCA and put me on round-the-clock medicine.
Oh, no.
And the only why that to me is because I was unresponsive. My nurse freaking out.
No.
I got doctors and nurses rushing into my room.
Hey.
And, like, I'm still spaced out, but all I see is just a bunch of people running into my room.
No way. Devin, we got a few minutes left, man, before we got to wrap up the show. I want to thank you, man, again for having your mom come on in the beginning and then having her share about the importance of being tested with sickle cell trait and other conditions, and then you coming on and sharing your story. The last thing I want to end the show with, man, is what do you want the world to know about sickle cell?
What I want the world to know about sickle cell is it is important. You hear about cancer, you hear about ALS, all that, but to me it's like people sweep sickle cell under the rug. Yeah. You have people from sickle cell dying just as well you have people from cancer dying. So just because, why is the reason we don't get the same awareness? Can somebody explain that to me?
Right.
What I want to know, what I want the world to know is, we're here. We are here. Like, we have illnesses, we have pain, just as the next person does. We're here just like y'all are. So why can't we get the same treatment or the same awareness that y'all get? I'm not trying to say our illness is better than or worse than y'all illness, or your illness is worse than ours. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is we're here just like you guys are. Let's get the same awareness as cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, autism, ALS. Like, I've seen ALS have the ice bucket challenge. I've seen cancer foundation raised millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But what have y'all raised for us? What
Right.
challenge have we had?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Devin, I
Nah.
guess we got to come up with our own man. If they're not going to do it for us, we
Course.
can't wait. We can't wait
We
for
got to do it ourselves.
for them to do it. So we got to get creative in our own community, man, and get this awareness from the inside out. So, Devin, man, thank you
Yes.
for calling in, man. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you next week, right?
Yeah.
You're coming to DC,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
All right. So you and me next week, man.
All right.
All right,
And I want to thank you and your daughter for having me on, man.
man. No problem, man. All right. So again, thank you. I'll see you next week so we can take on the hill. This is WDC Radio.
Shout out to Hannah, my sister, kind of like my sister, and my best friend Carson. They were both listening.
Oh,
They told me.
all right. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on LA Talk Live, WDC Radio.
So everyone else is listening. Shout out to.
Hashtag sickle cell trait. Follow us along.
Yeah. Ugh.
Basketball is my favorite sport. You know I like the way they dribble up and down the court, fast and slow. 25 years ago, the WDC, and it's me, your man Curtis Blow, from Dr. J to Michael Jordan to Kevin Durant, who leads the whole league in scoring. Dwayne Wade down in Miami, making a name. I love this game. To the NBA Hall of Fame, slam dunks, alley-oops, and the give and go. Vince Carter, Superman, and my man Carmelo and Rondo over in Boston with the big three, captivating audiences across the country, ruling the world like LeBron the King. I say, man, Kobe sure has a lot of rings. I do my thing, not for the bling, playing in the amount. It's the NBA Finals, so what's the count?
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. You're tuned in to LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
Yeah, so tell me what's the count? Had Jerry run a route and Montana throw it out. Atwater make him sober when the back try to bounce. So I'm flipping through the channels as the Bulls where I'm out. Jordan go for 40 enemies, close mouth. So I'm ESPN and bury like a mouse. Scan through the rivals, playoff idol. He'll make all enemies suicidal. Similar to Marshall Falk, a quick bouncer. Scatting on the fast, all you hear is the announcer. Then competition, so the crowd scream louder. Then he realized Roger Craig is his founder. So he sits on the defender around her. As Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hooks him out. Magic with a pass, so the Lakers straight clowning. All I wanna know is homeboy, what's the count? And
Born in the ring, all my life I've been a fighter. Greatest upset in history, know that the sports fighter. Put me in the Olympics and guaranteed I'm the torchlighter. Provider of all the lyrics that are blowing scorch fire. I'm in the locker room, getting my hands taped. Thick speed of a cheetah, the strength of a man 8. I'm feeling bad what I'm about to do to this man's face. But he the opponent, so I'm on the loss I can't take. Hands like Mayweather, swag like Ali. You think you way better, homie, than I see. And then I they call me Hitman, Tommy Hurt. And y'all be biting like Tyson. I learned, and I don't gotta be flashy in front of the camera. All I do is show my warrior heart like Evander. Never been knocked out, but I've been knocked down. Long as I make it to the next round, what's the count?
Podcast Network, original reality radio, crafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.